Hey there everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with my second layout as a guest designer for Trimcraft. It is a UK-based company and they contacted me and asked if I would make a few layouts using two of their new paper pads. And I said, sure, yes, definitely. And I love the paper pads. I made one using the Paradise Crush paper pad a few videos ago. And this one is the Storyteller Paper Pad, and these two paper pads are going to be available in Michaels very soon if they're not already there. So check that out because they are very cool papers. There's glitter, there's not enamel dots, bling, like little rhinestones on some of the papers. You get some flat cardstock, some shiny, really colorful papers, and they're very good quality papers. They're very nice and thick and sturdy. And so I'm going to create a layout using some very bright colors. As you can see, these papers are very bright. The patterns are very busy and very fun, just different types of patterns. I found this cut file in the Just Knit store, and I, of course, cannot remember the name of it, but I will link it down below. I believe it has the word roses in the title. I will look it up. So I'm just going to do what a technique that I tend to do a lot. I know a lot of people do this. It's really fun and you always get a nice result, and that is back the cut files, open spots with some pattern paper. And so I'm going to just try to create bright colored flowers here, and I just turned the paper over and turned the cut file over and did a messy little trace of the shapes, and then I'm just going to glue them on. And I'm going to try to make each flower look a little bit different and try to incorporate all these bright colors. I'm going to use a lot of bright bold pinks, some oranges, purple, teal, even a golden mustardy yellow color. And I'm just almost always happy with the result of backing a cut file. It always winds up looking exactly like I'd hoped it would. And these have, you know, these flowers are kind of a scribbly shape, and so there's some different type of shapes. So I just felt that it was easiest to just trace them and cut them out. That way I know exactly how they're going to fit. This pattern paper is so pretty. It is very busy, but that's what makes it perfect for backing cut files, because you can cut little bits and pieces of it, and then you still get the busy pattern, but it's just in a small little bit, so it's not too overwhelming. And this is a great technique to do if you want to use a bunch of different patterns, but you don't want your whole page to be so busy that, you know, it takes away from the picture, or it's too busy for your eye to make sense of it. At least that's the way I see it. You know, you may have a totally different view of that, and that is perfectly fine. This is just kind of how I see it and how I like to deal with busy papers. So I'm still going. I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing, but I wanted to get one flower done, and I tried to use 3 papers on each one, and there's the finished one. I love how this turned out. I love it. Look at all those pretty sparkly glittery pieces. Love that. I love the glitter on top of the gold, or on top of the purple, I mean. It's so pretty. I'm going to use that purple paper as my background, and it's not completely a solid. It's kind of like a wash. If you look up close, you can see a little bit of a pattern on it, but it's as close to a solid as I'm going to get. And I wanted to use a colored background. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some foam behind the cut file, and then I've chosen that black and white picture of my daughter, and I think it's just one of those random cute pictures where she was just passing by me in action one day and trying to take a picture of her, and so I got a cute one. So what I'm going to do is go around where I want the cut file to go with some gesso, and I'm just going to smudge it around the edges of everything. And I just want this lighter purple haze coming out from behind those flowers. I don't want to, you know, take away the purple, and I don't want it to be this harsh white edgy outline. I just want it to be kind of hazy and faded looking. And that's also going to give me a little bit of white space to add some watercolor, and it's going to toughen up that paper. Even though this paper is very good quality, it's pretty thick, and it actually took the gesso really well, and it's going to take all these products that I use really well. So I decided I need some of that bright pink over in the lower right hand corner. So I'm going to start off with some Dazzlers, and this is from Shimmers, and it's called Pucker Up Pink. And even though it's a texture paste, I'm just smudging it down with my finger. And now I'm going to add in some of the Acrotones, which is called Pinkadelic. I wasn't really going for a specific product for what it was intended to do. I just wanted the color. And so, you know, with a texture paste, we tend to use it through stencils. But in this case, I just wanted that pink color on the paper, so I just smudged it down with my hand there. I'm going to add a little bit with my brush now because I like to mix and match. Sometimes I like to use my hand, sometimes I like to use a brush. And the brush was just getting it on a little bit in a different, I guess the outlook, or not the outlook, what's the word? The outcome looks a little bit different, the finished shape of it. Because when you smudge it with your finger, it looks one way. When you use a brush, it looks a different way. I felt like it faded the pink a little bit more than my hand was, and so that's why I switched to a dry brush. And then I'm just going to add in some sprays. And again, I'm just going with pink here. I just want a little bit of watercolor kind of peeking out from behind everything, and a little bit of color as well. This is also a Shimmers. This is the yellow Acrotones. It's called Over Easy. And if you'd have told me 10 minutes before I started this layout that I would be painting yellow paint on top of purple paper, I probably would have said, you're crazy. But, you know, once I got all those papers glued down and I saw the yellows and the purples and all those colors together, I thought, well, that's what we're going to do. We need a little bit of yellow. And now we need some teal. This is another Shimmers. This is a spray called Well Blew Me Down. And this is, you know, it can be tricky using products like this on a dark background. It's a lot easier to do it on white because, you know, the colors are going to stay true to themselves because it's a white background. But when you're dealing with colored backgrounds, especially a darker one, your colors that you add are going to look different because they've got that dark background behind it. And so that's where the white gesso comes in handy to kind of whiten things up a little bit. So I'm going to add a scrap piece of the gold glittery purple paper over to the right of my picture, and then I felt like this layout called for some gold thread, and trying to loop up and make a tangled little nest out of metallic thread is not easy because it does not want to bend and shape like the regular thread, and so it never really stays like I want it, so I have to mess with it for a little bit longer, but that's okay. I just felt like it needed the gold because there's so much gold going on in the papers. I did add a little bit of yellow down there at the bottom, and I don't want anything to move, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, including the gold thread that I've added in a little bit there on the edges. And already I love how this is looking. I love those flowers. That is the coolest cut file. Now I've just got a mix and match of certain things. This is a little epoxy sticker pack from, I think, Rise and Shine, Amy Tan. I'm going to use a couple of pieces from that. That little pink sticker there's got a little gold camera on it. And I didn't really want to cover up much of the flowers because I think they're beautiful and they're busy enough as is. So I add a couple of those little gold hearts, and then I'm going to add in this, I was going to say enamel dot. That's not an enamel dot. That's a flare button, and that's from A Flare for Buttons, and it matched perfectly. It's the perfect shade of purple. The little heart, and added a little bit of teal thread under that. These are some sequins from Spiegelman Scraps, and I picked up a lot. I think it was on Black Friday back in November, so I picked up as many different colors as I could, and these are a really soft purpley light pink color, and I'm just going to randomly glue some down. I think it adds some little sparkle and bling. Added a couple of different colors of those. This is a random gold sticker book that I got from Michaels, and it's Me and My Big Ideas. And I just found this cute little gold circle that says Shine On. So I'm going to stick it on some cardstock, cut it out, and use it. Mainly because it's gold and it's a circle. Can't really see it in the light, but it matches. And I don't do a lot of embellishing. Like I said, I felt like the cut file and all those colors just look so pretty, and anything that I added to it, much more than what I'm already doing, I felt like it would just get lost because everything's so colorful and just didn't really need it. And I've said this before, sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need to add a ton of embellishments just because you have them. But if you want to, go for it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. This is all in your taste and what you like. It's your page and it's going to go in your album. And so you should do what you like. Now I'm just going to write her, or not write, I'm going to stick her name, Paige, underneath here in these gold letters. And these are like not brassy shiny gold. They're like a soft gold. They're still shiny, but they're like a soft muted shiny gold. Do you remember these style of thickers? I've had these in my stash forever. Love them. And I've neglected them for too long. And they matched perfectly. Pink glitter thickers. And I'm not super creative with this title. It's just going to be so sweet. But I think this is the coolest font. I've been hoarding those thickers for forever. And they match perfectly. And they've got glitter. And they're awesome. I'm going to go around and trace each of those letters where it's on a colored piece with my white Uniball pen there. It just makes them pop a little bit more. And I'm going to use the same pen to write a little bit of journaling. And this is why I always make lines with my T-square ruler, because I didn't on this one. And look how crooked my lines are. Totally going uphill. But you know what? It's okay. Layouts to me should look homemade, and so if the writing is crooked, whatever, I don't care. Now I had to add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and it looks amazing on top of that purple paper. It really stood out. So there's my final layout. I know it's bright and bold, but I think it turned out really cute, and I love this paper pad. The colors, the gold, everything together is so pretty. So check your Michaels and see if you can find this Storyteller Paper Pad and also the Paradise Crush Paper Pad, because they are really, really pretty. You can get some really fun projects out of them. So let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did. Make sure you check the link below for the Trimcraft blog. See lots of inspiration and things going on over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.